What's up, everybody? This is Taylor Vippolis, and welcome to the Players Lounge, a new podcast brought to you by Inside Carolina in partnership with Heels for Life, which is UNC's NIL collective created to bring together UNC football players, fans, and businesses. I'm joined by my guy and my former teammate, Shakeel Rashad, who is the executive director for Heels for Life. And today we're joined by UNC linebacker, rising junior, Cedric Gray. Cedric, appreciate you getting on here. We want to start off the field first. Everybody knows you as a football player, but what are your hobbies when you're not playing football?
I'm actually a pretty simple guy. I don't really have much off the field, but if I had to say a few, probably the basic ones, just video games. I think every college kid plays video games, but another one I would say that probably like isn't as popular. I would say I'm like a big card game guy. I like to play spades, different stuff like that. So yeah, really just kind of mess around playing games. I don't really have too many hobbies off the field.
Who is your normal spades partner on the team, and how kind of competitive does it get with the guys playing football?
It definitely gets competitive. We're competitors at heart. So we're definitely competing all the time. But I'd probably say my roommate, Desmond Evans. It's probably just because we live together, we're close. We're always usually partners whenever we do that kind of stuff.
I remember when I was playing spades in college, I didn't know how to really play at first, so nobody
Yeah.
really wanted to play with me, and a lot of times feelings were getting hurt. Is that something that's happening when you guys are playing?
I would say usually like if somebody's new to the game, we're a lot, nicer about it. But I've definitely been in different spade environments where like if you don't know what you're doing, like you just need to go because they don't got time for it.
Oh, that's great. So speaking of hobbies, like did you play any other sports coming up in high school or anything like that?
Yeah, so I played basketball and football my whole life actually. Up until my junior year of high school, that was my last year playing basketball. So I have a love for basketball as well.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so we got to go a little bit deeper on that. Then give us a scouting report on your game. If I'm playing you in high school, what's the scouting report say about you?
Straight defensive slasher. Like that's like usually what I was. They always put me on their best player to guard them. I was a hustle, rebounding kind of guy. Layups. I couldn't shoot.
See,
Couldn't shoot. Couldn't
as
shoot free throws. None of that.
as a
But
former linebacker, I'm a little bit offended that you can play and not just foul out all the time. Like people
oh
always say,
no,
you
no,
play. They're like you play basketball like a linebacker, which just means you foul people all the time.
no, no. Definitely, I didn't foul out all the time. But
Good for you, man. Well,
yeah.
so sticking with basketball here, other guys on the team. Like if you had to pick up a team tomorrow to go play, what's your starting five from UNC football to go play basketball tomorrow?
Oh, this is a good one. So, including me,
Including you, if you think you can make it.
including, oh yeah, I would make it. It'd probably be me. I say Jaquarius Conley, Jefferson Boaz, and this one might be a little surprising to people, but Austin Richards, our own lineman.
Okay.
And I got one more, probably Bryson Nesbitt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Mhm.
Bryson's come up twice now, right? With that question.
Yeah.
He
Bryson
might
is
have,
like
but
that.
for the most part, I think we did get a lot of new names. Aquarius Conley didn't come up last time. So you got to talk to Storm Duck. Storm Duck didn't even consider you.
Well, so I don't think I've ever hooped with Storm, so maybe I got to show him some.
Now, before this interview, I was going through your Instagram, and I'm a big fan of tattoos, so I'm always looking for my next one. What's the
Mhm.
story behind your tattoos, and how many do you have?
So I mean, most of them are just like stuff that are just kind of true and important to me. I got, I mean, I don't know if y'all can really see. I got one right here, of my grandmother's name, who actually just passed recently, a little bit before the NC State game this past November. But I'll go over like my favorite tattoos. This one right here. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like these football players kind of like in the sky, and it's supposed to like resemblance like me and my brothers, and all of them like have our favorite football players numbers growing up. So I was a big Steelers fan. So I don't know if you can see it's 43 for Troy Polamalu right there.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and the 10 right here, one of my brothers, he was a big Giants fan, so that's Eli Manning. And then the 9 down here is supposed to represent Tony Romo because my other brother was a Cowboys fan.
Wow.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite one right there. But I got like my area codes on me right here. I got 704 for Charlotte and 301 because I'm originally from Maryland. So that's just to go over a few of them that I have.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Do you have any plans for any more in the near future?
Oh, definitely for sure. I want to like get like this like dope art piece like on my chest of like me and my brothers, like my dad playing in the front yard. That's like one of like the core memories to me. Like as a child, like we always used to like throw the ball like in the front yard when we were kids. So that's like special to me. So I think I want to get that like on my chest, just like a portrait of us just like kind of playing in the yard.
See, that's really cool, and it obviously all your tattoos mean a lot to you, and so
Right.
I kind of want to stick in that same vein here, right? Because fans would never know what those tattoos mean to you unless you tell them. I
Right.
want to find out now what your pregame playlist means to you. What's on it? Why are they on there? Like, what's your favorite song from the pregame playlist?
I really don't have a playlist. I'm kind of a freestyle kind like I kind of just scroll through and just kind of click, hey, I like this or that. But what I will say is like the intensity picks up the closer we get to game time. So like if I'm like waking up in the morning, I might be chilling to like some Rod Wave or something. But by the time game starts, it's like Chief Keef, 21 Savage, like it picks up. So
I like it. I like it.
but
That's
yeah,
incredible.
I'll tell you like a funny story. It's funny. Going back to the Miami game, which probably was one of my best games. I remember like in the locker room, they had a 21 Savage playing, and I remember me and JQ and Trey Morrison were like super hype, like super duper hype. Like I'm pretty sure we sung like the whole song, dancing, like all that right before the game. But
Those are the best moments. That'll get you going a little bit, man. Because
yeah,
that was exactly me too, like singing,
yeah.
locked into songs. But it was Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber, so a little bit, a little different. But we were on the same page there with it. That's cool.
Going off Shaq's point, it's just saying that he's a Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber guy. We had teammates on the team who maybe weren't as open about being Justin Bieber fans. Who's one artist that people would be surprised that you listen to?
Um, I don't. I would more say not so an artist, but I really enjoy like listening to like old rap and R&B songs, like you know,
Keith Sweat.
like yeah, Marvin Gaye, like kind of stuff like that. Like I like to listen to some of that kind of stuff from time to time that I don't think most kids in my age range would probably be listening to.
The appreciation for the old school.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have an appreciation for it. For
Who
sure.
got you into Marvin Gaye? Like that's something that when my dad had
Uh,
me listen to, I was like, dude, you're old. Give it up.
Definitely my mom for
Okay.
sure. Like I like bring it back like more memories. Like I remember growing up, just like riding in the car with my mom to practices, or just like wherever we're going. Like we used to battle like over the station. Like I tried to turn on the rap station, but she would always turn on like the old school like R&B type of station, and that's like where I guess it was like first introduced to me.
That's cool to hear, but that's going to take us to the movie portion of this podcast, which is brought to you by Grindhouse Supply Apparel for the Culture, a local company based out of Benson, North Carolina that has exclusive collections of vintage movie posters and apparel. It's owned by Carolina fans, so you'd be supporting one of your own, which is always awesome. Check them out at grindhouse.com. That's grindhaus.com, and support the people that are supporting your favorite players. Shaq has on the t-shirt, as he just pointed out. So Cedric, sticking with the movies, what would you say your favorite movie of all time is?
The Fast and Furious series, without a doubt, no hesitation.
Wow.
Best movies put together ever, in my opinion.
Shaq, you fist pumped. You're also a fan of Fast.
I am pumped. I'm ecstatic that you said that, but I've got to make this a little bit harder on you. Which one is your favorite of them? And I'll get you. Just take three in no specific order. You can go with three if you want.
So I only got one for you.
Okay.
And I'll say Fast Five. And here's why. Particularly because it was actually the first one I was introduced to. Fast Five was like first one. I guess I just kind of fell in love with that one because it was just like the first one that I was introduced to. But like I love like Ludacris, Tyrese, like they just made that movie so funny. It has action, all that. So it's definitely my favorite movie series for sure.
I've never seen any, so now that I know
Bro, you're missing out, bro.
Thank
You are
you. Let's
missing
go.
out.
I'm
You're
putting it on
missing
my
out.
to-do list this weekend now. I think I'm just
Yes.
gonna knock them all out at once. But
Van Diesel, all of them.
how
Yeah.
do we feel about The Rock joining the Fast family? I've seen he's kind of in and out sometimes.
Yeah, he's in and out. He was in the Fast Five, one matter of fact. So
Yeah.
he's kind of been in it for a while now. I
Okay.
think they're on like 10 or something like that.
They're doing spin-offs and everything now. It's tough.
Yeah,
to keep
yeah.
that.
It's like, yeah, they're doing like the Hobbs one and all
Yeah.
that. But yeah, he's definitely a great addition for sure.
Cedric, if you're going to the movies, what would you say your go-to snack and drink is?
Popcorn and icy.
Keep it simple.
Buttered up though. I'm one of those guys who sit there at the butter machine for a little second.
Are you
Definitely.
are you one of the people that uses the straw to get the butter down to the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, come on. You're better than that, man.
Yeah. Nah, it gotta be buttered up for sure. I'm the type to leave the movie and like go get some butter like mid movie for sure.
We'll make sure the nutritionist doesn't hear that part. We'll we'll get that part blocked out for you. Well, that's great. Well, so we'll stick with kind of movies and activities and everything. If you're going to dinner, you get three people dead or alive from any time period. Who are you sitting down with dinner with?
So I'm gonna start off with one. Probably you can make this one or you can make it two, but I would say both of my grandfathers. Unfortunately, both of them were passed before I even was born. And so I think it would just like always be cool to like just see like who they were, any similarities that we had or anything like that. So I'd say both of my grandfathers. I guess we'll count that as one. Next, I would probably say Ray Lewis.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that to like just be cliche on linebacker, but like just like watching like the intensity like that he played with, like just the intense person, his energy, like that's something like I want to be around. It reminds me of myself a little bit because like when I'm in the zone, when I'm around the guys in football, I'm very energetic, I'm very loud, I'm very proud. So definitely he would be up there. And last, I don't know, this is a hard one, but I'll probably say maybe MJ.
Okay.
I feel like that would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, just like I said, I mean, it's MJ. Like I got his shoes on right now. I mean, that just goes without saying. So
That's some good variety with that list. But sticking with the hypotheticals, if you could spend a month anywhere in the world and someone else is paying for it, so you're not worrying about expenses or food or how much it costs to get there, where would you go and why?
all right. So can I give you two?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
your show,
All right.
man. It's your show.
Okay.
Your name's the one that
All
goes
right.
on this.
So like on the more like less serious note, somewhere exotic, Bahamas, Hawaii, I don't care. Somewhere exotic like that to where you can kick up your feet, nice beach, all that.
Florida.
But if I would have to pick a place, I would actually say one of the places I always like I have to go before like I die is Africa. Like just, being African American, just kind of learn about the history, about our people and just where we come from and just kind of seeing like how we evolved and changed over time and how like much, different, that we are as, African Americans and how they are as just Africans. It would definitely be cool to like just like go out there and just explore and to see like, just go see that stuff. It'd be really cool to me.
That's a really cool trip. I don't know that I've ever asked someone that and they came back with that answer, but I totally understand why. It's really cool. I think that'd be a really fun experience, and you can get out. I don't know if you're a safari guy or anything like that, but you can have the historical side of it, and you can also go see some animals and things like that you couldn't see here probably. That's cool, man.
Definitely.
So let's bring it back over to the United States, even right here in North Carolina. Let's say you're back in high school right now. You strap up, you go play in a high school football game. What stats are you putting up in one single game? We'll say it's a state championship. What stats are you putting up if you play in a game right now?
Single game. So if you, I don't know if you know this, people don't know this, but I actually play wide receiver in high school as well. So I probably say I get about 10 catches, 250, 2 touchdowns, and probably about between 10, 11 tackles, something like that. Sack, a few tackles for losses. That'd be my stat line for sure.
What an insanely modest answer. I mean, I didn't play a snap of receiver in high school, and I would say I'd go for like 14 catches, 140 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Oh no, this is realistic. This is realistic. I've done this before.
Okay,
in high school,
so
sure.
talk to us about basketball. Then you go play in a basketball game. What stats you putting up
in high school?
In high school, right now.
Shoot, I'll probably give you about a smooth 8, maybe. A few assists. I might get you double-digit rebounds.
Okay.
And I'm definitely gonna get a steal or a block for sure.
Okay.
Actually, fun fact: I had 5 blocks in high school one time in a game. One game.
And you're saying you'd only get 1 right now?
Well, I mean, if we're just talking about the average game, you know what I'm saying.
And you're a big guy, so we have to test your strength a bit. 6'2", 220 listed on GoHeels.com. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
I'm gonna have to go with 1 horse-sized duck.
It's just a numbers game at that point.
Yeah, definitely a numbers game, and also that like I feel like fighting a horse would be harder than a duck anyway. And there's 100 of them now, even though they're smaller, but still like it's 100 of them.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Volume play. Okay, so I want to try out this new segment that we came up with just now. And by new segment, I mean it literally just came out of our head. We're gonna call it 10 and 2. Okay, so you're with Derrick Henry in the A gap. You get 10 reps from the 2-yard line. He doesn't get to juke you. You're in a phone booth here. This thing's tight. How many are you winning out of those 10 reps?
Right now?
Right now.
You
got to think he's banged up from the season too now.
Right now, I give myself maybe 3, 4.
Oh, come on. The scouts are going to listen to this. Juice it up. Scouts going to listen to this. Juice it.
Listen.
Still a grown man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the 2-yard line, you know what I'm saying? But I'd say definitely right now 3, 4. By the time I'm in the NFL, we're going 10 out of 10.
I like it. That's the answer we needed. 9 or 10.
We're working towards.
We're working towards it.
We're gonna edit this and just be
that's respect for Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person who respect game. You know what I'm saying when I see it. So I ain't never gonna say nothing crazy or something I don't believe.
Makes one of us.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say there. But we're gonna go to the speed round portion of this. So we're just gonna ask questions and you can kind of answer rapid fire, or if you do want to give it a longer explanation, you can. Like I said before, this is your show. So would you rather watch sports in person or on TV?
Ooh, this is a hard one. I would say in person.
Okay.
But I definitely don't, feel like going to like a big game every time. Like all the games would exactly be fun. I kind of do like that at home aspect sometimes, but for the most part, I would say in person.
Gotcha. Pro or college sports?
College.
Best TV show ever made.
Money Heist.
Ooh, okay. Your favorite actor or actress of all time?
Denzel Washington.
Love it.
Your favorite celebrity crush that you've ever had.
Don't laugh at me, but Cardi B.
Hey, respect. I'm from New York, man.
Give us the little okay thing, the occur. That's great. Okay, the best restaurant in Chapel Hill.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Best restaurant. Can I give you my go-to spot?
Yeah, it works.
I wouldn't say it's the best because I haven't tried, all the food spots, but like my go-to, I would say would be Wings Over.
Mhm.
Okay. Hot or cold weather?
Hot.
Favorite uniform combo?
So I've never worn this, but in 2019, where they wore that all blue versus Duke,
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing was beautiful, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thing was beautiful.
You got to talk to J-Bone.
Yeah.
Speaking of J-Bone, what would you say your favorite Jordans are?
Favorite Jordan. Either the 4s or the 11s.
And then last one in the speed round, your closest friend on the team. Not best, just closest. We don't want to hurt any feelings here. So,
Yeah, like I said earlier, probably Desmond Evans, just because we live together. So yeah.
We want the fans to continue the opportunity to get to know you. So you're a Charlotte guy. If me and Shaq came to stay with you for a weekend in your hometown, like you were our official visit on a host, or you were our host on an official visit, what are we going to be doing back in the 704?
Oof. I mean, there's a lot to do. I mean, it depends on what y'all trying to do. If y'all want to, go party or y'all want to have
We're just
some
recruits.
fun.
We're just recruits.
we're
Following
recruits,
you around.
man. You got to tell us.
I mean, so assuming that you're recruits, you know what I'm saying? So probably take y'all uptown, one of those nights, have a little fun up there. But I'll probably take y'all somewhere fun, like maybe a Dave and Buster's or a Frankie's or something like that. Top golf, we got all those kind of little fun activities. So probably just stuff like that, I would say.
I'm in. I think I'm ready to commit.
Right now. You have me at Top Golf. Have me at Top Golf.
I mean,
Yeah. So
they gotta give me somebody to take on an official visit. I'll spice it up for them.
So growing up down the road, right in Charlotte, like, did you grow up as a UNC fan?
So honestly, so first of all, I wouldn't say I grew up in Charlotte, but
Okay, yeah,
as a childhood, I'm from Fort Washington, Maryland. But to be real with you, growing up, I was actually a huge West Virginia fan for college football. I kind of fell in love with Tavon Austin when I was little and kind of just attached to him. But I like I said, I really was never kind of a big Carolina fan. What kind of drove me to come here, I mean, it was close to home. It was my only Power 5 offer, but not only that, I fell in love with Coach Dig and Coach Mack. And just a little fun fact too, I actually played AAU basketball with Coach Dre Bly's son, Jordan Bly, who goes to Old Dominion, who plays receiver there. So I've known Dre for quite a bit of time now. So I think just kind of knowing like, hey, this is close to home, these are the coaches that's been, the most real with me throughout the recruiting process is kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Carolina was the only scholarship, like you mentioned, from a Power 5 school. What was that moment like for you to see your hard work rewarded with a scholarship from a school as big as North Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, it was something I dreamed about like as a kid. Like, I've been playing football my whole life. Like since I was like 4 or 5, like I played flag football. Like this is like my passion. It's what I love. Like even if I don't make it to the NFL, like I want to coach, I want to be a trainer, I want to give back to, young kids who want to go through this. But just like that feeling, I mean, it was unmatched. It was probably one of the best days of my life, to be honest with you. It was something I've been waiting for, something I was praying for, something that me and my family, we stayed up late nights talking about. So it was very, very exciting for me.
You mentioned, the process of getting the scholarship offer. At what point do you remember growing up with football being such a big passion for you that playing at a D1 school was a realistic possibility?
Yeah, I'd probably say after my sophomore year of high school, I would say. Um, which I feel like is kind of late, honestly, because I think some people, kind of realize it earlier. But like I said, I've kind of always had the dream. I've always, been pretty good at football growing up, all that. So when I got to high school, I'm kind of seeing like some of my peers are freshmen, they're playing varsity, all that. I actually didn't play varsity my freshman year. I played JV. And so my freshman year, I guess it wasn't like doubt, but it was just like, like I don't, am I really that good? We'll see. But definitely after my sophomore year and kind of the recruiting process kind of picked up for me, people started to be interested, and it definitely seemed like a very realistic goal.
And so during high school, we were, like Taylor said, looking at your Instagram a little bit. Looked like you wore number 11 in high school. So how'd you end up with 33 when you got to Chapel Hill?
Well, so when I got here, Miles Wolford wore the number 11, so obviously I couldn't take that. But actually, it's really not much to it. I kind of just like wanted like a number that kind of looked good, and then the first person that came to mind was like Jamal Adams for some reason. I'm like, I'm switching to defense now, so like I don't want to get like an offensive number. Like what's like a cool looking defensive number. And so like Jamal Adams just came to mind, and I was like 33, and then like I got it, and now I love it. Like if I can wear 33 in the NFL, like please sign me up. I want it.
I love it. So we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
You get here, you get 33, you step on the field. What was that welcome to college football moment for you? Everybody's got it.
Oh my. So here's mine.
Sounds like a good one.
So I don't know. I guess it was fall camp during the summer. I don't know. I guess it was like the first or second day of full pads, and we're doing inside drill. You know, we all know, and we know what that means. So, I mean, basically,
So for the can we time out though for the people that don't know inside drill? Try
yeah,
to
go
describe
ahead.
it really quickly for them. You try it though. I'll
All right.
piggyback on you if we need to.
Yeah.
Paint the
So for
picture for them.
people who don't know, I mean, inside drill is basically you got your running back, your O line, and you got your D line and your linebackers, and maybe like a safety, and it's just all run. It's all run. It's no receivers, no cornerbacks. It's just all runs, inside runs, and so picking back up off that. So it's first time doing inside drill, probably the first or second day of full pads, and the ball gets snapped, and I see two offensive linemen running at me, not one, two of them, and they hit me. And when I tell you they almost took me to the wall and put me on my behind, I ain't never got knocked back on my behind before, ever since I got to Carolina. So, I got up, and after that, I was like, whew, like, yeah, they ain't playing. They're not playing around.
Do you
That was
remember who the
definitely mine.
linemen were?
Yes, I do. Q Johnson and Ed Montelis. I'll never forget.
That's a
I'll
lot of
never
weight.
forget.
A lot of weight
Yep.
coming your way. Yeah,
Yep.
and that's inside drill is a fun one because, like you said, it's receivers are gone. There's no
Yeah.
pass plays. I mean, it is truly just 14 guys that are like, we're running the football. Like
Yeah.
everyone's in a sprinter stance, just running at each other, just collisions everywhere. It sounds
Yep.
like I don't even know, popcorn, I guess, just all the helmets colliding.
Right.
The beautiful sound. Well, yeah. So that inside though, getting things like that early in your freshman year, it had to be helpful. You played 12 games on special teams as a freshman. How do you feel like that helped you moving forward now, moving into like more of a play role where you're on defense more? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I definitely think it helped, just kind of getting my feet wet, kind of being out there on the field. I mean, it definitely helped. Like I said, I didn't think I would want to like kind of just get thrown out there, this year, my first time being on the field, as a defender. Like I feel like that just would have been, a little much to handle. So I definitely think it helped out just, kind of getting my feet wet, kind of seeing, what it's like, what's the speed. At this level.
Mhm.
So definitely, it definitely helped.
The other thing that I'm sure helped you out is adding some weight to your frame, where since your freshman season at Carolina, uh, GoHeels.com has you listed as you've added over 20 pounds. How did you go about doing that? And was that ever hard, that process?
No, it actually really wasn't too hard for me. To be honest with you, coming out my senior year, I was probably like 200 pounds flat, maybe. I feel like every college kid, at least, this is my experience coming to Carolina. Like, I feel like every college kid is just gonna like put on like a 5 to 10 pounds, just from, you're eating a lot more. You're a lot focused on your nutrition. You're lifting, way harder than you ever lifted before. So, just kind of, coning in on my nutrition, lifting hard, and knowing that I did have to gain, a few pounds to be successful at linebacker. And, it really wasn't much of a challenge.
Yeah, most people call it the freshman 15 from going to all the frat parties,
Yeah,
but your 15's coming from the protein shakes.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
And it's really cool to see that as a receiver. Obviously, you were a versatile guy in high school. That translated to college, even with the 20 pounds, right? Like we can see you on a first down, maybe you're out in the slot covering a receiver. Second down, you might be in the A gap under pressure. Third down, boom, maybe you're just playing traditional linebacker, right? Shuffling and
Yeah.
everything. It's really cool to see you play like that. You mentioned Tavon Austin earlier was a guy that you were watching. Was there anyone on the defensive side of the ball that you could say you modeled your game after? Or have you just picked that up along the way?
Um, nah, I wouldn't really say I, kind of modeled my game after anybody on the defensive side, but I played defense my whole life, little league, high school, all that. So, you know, playing linebacker, was kind of always natural to me. It wasn't always just receiver. But receivers score touchdowns. So, they get the more spotlight. So maybe I kind of faded in that direction a little bit more. But like I said, yeah.
That's interesting. If you had to, in a couple words, describe the way you play linebacker, how would you do that?
I would say fast, physical, and smart.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, I like it.
As freshmen, when you get on campus, there's normally older players that you could go to for help or advice. When you first got to campus, did you have anybody, and who was that player for you if you did?
Yeah, without a doubt, it was Jeremiah Gemmel. I've said this before. Jeremiah just, he literally took me in like a little brother. I love everything that he did for me, whether it's, giving me a ride, helping me with the playbook, or just, hey, you want to come over play some video games? Like he did all that. He took me under his wing and showed mad love and really kind of, set the precedent for what I should be doing, for the younger guys as I'm getting older now. So, but it's for sure Jeremiah Gemmel.
Yeah, it's going to be tough not having somebody like Jeremiah Gemmel kind of leading the defense. So, how do you go about replacing someone with his kind of importance with that kind of impact that he had both on and off the field?
Right. So, like I said, I feel like, it's time for me to step up. I'm getting older. Um, I've gotten a lot more respect from my peers this year. And so I'm kind of looking forward to being a leader on the defensive side of the ball and in the linebacker room as well. I've always been a leader, since high school. Like I said, I'm a loud, vocal kind of person. So really just kind of stepping into that role. Like I said, I feel like I've earned my, respect now from my teammates and really stepping up into that role and being a leader.
That's really cool. And you talk about earning respect as a teammate and as a leader. You get that in the weight room, on the field, and practice,
Right.
everything. You earn it there. But as fans, we get to see it on Saturdays, right? And one of the cool things that I remember seeing you do last year was during that Miami game, right? You say have your pass breakup, you get an interception early in the game, you get TFL, and then Miami's driving with a chance to go tie this thing or win it. You come back with another interception. And so what was that like? Like, walk us through that moment. You mentioned earlier talking about the music before the game. You had, I think it was
Mhm.
21 Savage going, but
Yeah.
after the game, like, who are you listening to? What does that moment feel like for you?
Oh, dude, I was on Mars, bro. Like I was like, dude, it was just crazy. Like I was so happy. I was just like I said, like this is what you dream of. Like, I just kind of just sat back and just like, bro, you just won the game at a Power 5 level school with like 60,000 people watching in person.
Yeah.
And this was on ESPN. Like, that's just like a dream come true to me. Like this is what you work for. This is what you wake up at 5:30 in the morning for moments like that. It was awesome.
And to be a guy that you said you used to sit up late at night talking about getting here, getting to that Power 5 level, like to see it all come to that. Not to say that like this is the peak or anything, right? But like
Right.
to start to see it pay off is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, like you said, just to start to see it. I mean, just to have like my first, real big moment at this level. It was something I never forget.
Can you walk us through the actual play and what you remember? Because I think for the fans in the stands, it felt chaotic. The ball was just bouncing around forever. What did it feel like actually on that field?
Yes, it was very chaotic. So just kind of breaking down what we were doing defensively. So we had a double A gap blitz with the linebackers basically. So Jeremiah was blitzing and I was blitzing. And so we had Jeremiah mugged up on the line and I was coming from depth. And so Jeremiah kind of beat the center off the ball, and then I'm coming in and he basically beat the center, got the hand up on the ball. And then, I mean, it just kind of floated in the air. I see Javari Ritzy. He almost had it for a second. Then I think one of the Miami O linemen kind of tipped it, and then it bounced off of somebody's helmet. And I'm looking at this, and as I'm watching this, I'm getting closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, it just fell right into my hands, and that was it. One thing I will like say that was like so funny to me. So like when I got to the ground, right, I couldn't see nobody, but all I could hear was Dez, my roommate that I was speaking about. And Dez is like, let's go, Sam. I can't see him, but I know it's Dez. Like, just telling from his voice. Like, that was so exciting, but that's that play right there for you.
You mentioned the ball getting tipped around. Have you ever thanked Javari Ritzy like, hey, you didn't make the play, so I could?
I wouldn't say
he walked
I
so you
wouldn't
could
say
run.
I wouldn't say I thanked them, but we've definitely kind of talked about like, hey, bro, that was low key your pick. Like,
That's crazy because it flips so quickly from like thinking, all right, best case scenario, this game is going to overtime. If you keep them out, they'll attempt a field goal. And then all of a sudden it was almost like the Duke game from, I think, 2019 where Chaz had that interception. So it felt like a very similar moment, so kind of close together. And that was without a doubt one of the best moments from the year. But overall, I think the team would say that you guys kind of fell short of your own expectations and the expectations from fans as a preseason top 10 team. What do you think you learned from this last season to set your team up better for the future?
Right. I'd say the biggest thing that I've learned is that as a team, we got to give more. I feel like last year, just as a team, we weren't always on the same page, especially when things hit the fan. Because like you said, we had these very high expectations for us. And very quickly, week one, we didn't exactly kind of meet up to them. And I think it affected us a little bit because I felt like, we kind of went into a little bit of a panic last year. And it sometimes it got, I would say just kind of negative energy around. And I think that's, kind of played a part in how like we didn't have, as good of a year as we were supposed to. So just kind of learning from that and implementing that into being a better leader, always staying positive, telling guys, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this better, just kind of pounding it, in our heads and our memories, whatever we got to do, whatever we need to do, so that we get the results that we want on Saturdays.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things, all of that was great. One of the parts that I loved was like early on, you said we had high expectations for us. Like the ESPN rankings are cool, the articles are cool, all that's great, but it's about what's happening in that locker room, right? The expectations you guys have for yourself, and that
Right.
resonates with me because that's where we were, in 2014, and we know what happened, and I got to ask about it. Words of Chisholm, Gene Chizik himself is back. You and I talked about this a little bit before, but what have your first impressions been like? What are you looking forward to for spring ball? I think y'all get started tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so we do get started tomorrow morning, but to answer your questions of what I think of Chiswick, first of all, I just want to state highly respected. This man's won a national championship at Auburn. He's been a college coach for many years. He's been in the business, in the industry. He was on SEC Network the past a few years, so highly respect for him. But the one thing that I've noticed that really has stuck out to me is how structured and how he is and everything he does. Just kind of like going off of today, like we had a defensive meeting, and the whole meeting we talked about tackling, how to tackle, the different types of tackles, angles, all that different kind of stuff. And I think it's just it was a good lesson that that we needed to have, and a lesson that we didn't have last year, and so I just love his structure. I love his attention to detail, with everything he does. Like the first time we had a meeting, we didn't go over no plays, not a single one. Like we just went over how we're going to practice, the structure, the discipline part. And I think every successful team has structure. And so I think implementing that defensively is only going to help us.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear. It feels like I'm back in 2015 when I hear people start talking about Coach Chiswick, and that's the same reaction we kind of had when he came into our building the first time. Like, this is a coach we just watched on ESPN win a national championship with Cam Newton, and you guys had that kind of happen once with Mac Brown, and now you're getting it even more with more Hall of Fame level coaching with Coach Chiswick. And
Right.
I know from talking with him, you're a player that he's really excited to see on the field, because everybody I talk to about you, from, the coaches to guys like Jeremiah Gemmel, everybody says the thing that kind of separates you is your preparation, and how when you weren't even playing, you were preparing like you were the starter. Where does your motivation come from on the football field to prepare and work at that high of a level?
I mean, yeah, like I said, football is my passion. Like I said, I could blow my knee out tomorrow, and like I want to, give back and help athletes out. This is what I do. This is my passion. So really, it just kind of being my passion. Me having goals and dreams. I wanted to accomplish those things, and I actually like talked about this with like a few of the freshmen, like kind of talking about how you come from high school of being a man to getting to college to where everybody's the man, and you kind of have to work up the ranks again. And I just knew that I wanted to be ready and prepared, for when my time come, creating good habits and different stuff like that. So I mean, all of that just kind of, attributed to why I prepared, even when I wasn't playing, to be the starter, because I knew my time would come, and I didn't want to give it up.
And the foot's still on the gas?
For sure. Definitely is.
So there's a very, very, very short list of elite two-way college football players. We're going to give you the chance here to brag on yourself a little bit and make your case. You talked a little about playing receiver. We've got the stats here. We got them pulled up. 143 catches for 2,467 yards, 27 touchdowns over 3 seasons. If we put you on offense next year, what kind of success do you think you could have on that side of the ball?
Hey, I've actually told Coach Galloway this. I could give him 500 yards, guaranteed.
A
For
game?
a season, for a season, I give him 500. I promise you, I give him 500. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's the clip. That's the clip we use.
What receiver would you compare yourself to in the current room?
Probably Antoine Green.
Okay.
That was more of my play style, a deep threat, big receiver kind of guy.
Okay.
I'd say I wasn't a speedster. I wasn't a Josh Downs. I wasn't a jitterbug like that.
That's great. Well, if you're going to be playing both ways tomorrow morning, we got to get you out of here. So I want to say thanks, man, for coming on. Really excited about this partnership between Heels for Life and Inside Carolina and NIL for allowing us to do stuff like this. And the other thing that allows us to do it is people, fans that are listening to this, joining Heels for Life, becoming members. So go check out heelsforlife.org, become a member. It's commit up in the top right. It allows us to do things like this and bring more guys on here after Cedric. So thank you, man. And, we got to ask, what has NIL been like for you? Like, since you would have gotten some time in college before NIL started, right? So you remember what it was like before, you know what it's like now. Have you felt a difference? Have you not felt a difference? What's it been like for you?
I mean, so for me personally, I actually haven't gotten too much into it. NIL kind of came out right before the season. And, as you guys know, I mean, I really wasn't, playing, nobody really knew who Cedric Gray was before the season. So I'm just now starting to get into it personally, but I'm excited about it. I'm happy about it. I think we deserve it. We fill out stadiums, and I feel like we should reap the, benefits from it. What we do. And, seeing, friends that I have, I see Tony and Josh and Sam, they all got these big sponsors and they're doing well in the NIL deal. And I'm just happy for them. And I'm happy that, they're finally given this opportunity because, like I said, we deserve it. We work our butts off.
If I had a kid right now and you were hosting a football camp, I would trust you to run the football camp.
Appreciate it.
But,
I get him right, man.
Yeah.
I turn him to a star.
I would invest. If this is my pitch for you right now, maybe you want to hire me on the side for your camps, to run your camps. Hire Cedric Gray for your football camps, so one day you don't have to pay for the kids' college. It's
ROI.
It's an ROI, short-term investment for a long-term. It's a long-term play.
Listen, you're not lying. That's like, honestly, like, seriously, like, that's one of the reasons why I think, I was able to get to a Power 5 school, investing, your kids young into sports, and it'll show off when they get older for sure.
We'll start printing the flyers once we get off this podcast.
And Vip actually said if the kid doesn't get a scholarship, he will personally pay their tuition. So.
It's the Michael Scott, the fundraiser or whatever, the scholarships for the kids in high school. But like Shaq mentioned, you could visit heelsforlife.org. That's heels4life.org to get involved in UNC's NIL initiative with a membership. That's all we have for this week on the Players Lounge. Appreciate you for sticking with us until the end. And Cedric, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us, and want to wish you good luck as you get underway with spring ball tomorrow.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for having me. This was fun.